Who goes there? A burning question that shakes the air and rings in the ears. Who goes there? A second time, tension rising like the heat and the rocks. But there is no time to answer. For the lord of this domain has risen from the fiery depths, smiling fearlessly, boiling drops gliding down his face. Unfazed by an onslaught of flames, it spreads its own blazing fire in return, as if to deride the pitiful sparks of its insolent prey.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls, Dougs and Diggets, it's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself, and today, guys, we're going to take a quick look at the Almudron, or excuse me, Magma Almudron. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Anyway, so this guy is a very interesting monster. He's a subspecies, okay? Subspecies, if you guys don't understand, subspecies is just a monster who's normally over here, but it is now usually like over here. They tend to be just opposed to what they usually are. So for example, a monster is a fire type monster, his subspecies could be a water or an ice type or something like that. Nevertheless, they kind of share a lot of the same characteristics. Visually, they are for the most part generally the same. There's usually small things that's different about them. Maybe they have a bigger forehead, maybe they have like a bigger tail, smaller this, you know, whatever, small things, nuanced things. But the big thing with this guy is that you guys remember the Almudron, right? How he has to usually would command all this mud and everything all over the place. Magma Almudron doesn't necessarily command the fire like that, but he takes on effects very akin to that of, well, for you new age people, Lava Salt, but for us old school guys, Ignactor, where his body isn't necessarily hard paused, but like whenever he gets like he starts using his fire abilities, start going under the, almost said under the water, but into the magma, his hit zones change, they become a lot softer and so on. So for the most part, just understand that he is basically Almudron but fire, but there's a whole lot more to that. One thing I really want to note for you guys is that he's one of those monsters who, for the first time fighting him, he will intimidate you by what he does and how flashy it is. He's definitely one of those monsters where it's more flair than it is true function. Like, he does have a lot of very wild things that he can do, but a lot of it is just to kind of put on a bit of a show. At first, when I was first fighting him, I was married to that R2. If you don't know, R2 is what we used to block, or it's gun lancers and everyone else who can block out there. I was married to that button. There's a lot of things that he does that either looks like he's gonna hit 1,000 times, only hits once, looks like he's gonna do a whole bunch of really cool things, but doesn't really do much after that. So let's break down some of his attacks so that way you yourself aren't intimidated by what he can and cannot do. Mind you, he will go underneath the ground and do a whole lot of weird stuff. The camera will pan out for a lot of the attacks that he will do, but just note that if it's not directly him, it's not going to bother you. So for example, he has an attack where the camera will pan out, he'll go under the ground, everything, all this fire stuff will start shooting up everywhere, but all he's gonna do is slam his tail. Now the attack itself is pretty hard, well, it hits pretty hard. He has two different ways he'll slam the tail. There's one where he'll slam it straight down, like it'll be straight down, like almost like if he was standing on the tip of his tail. That attack, once he does land it, there'll be this other explosion that goes around the body or around the area. If you're a user with a counter, perfect. This is the absolute perfect time to counter. He sits on this freaking tail and it does like nothing for a little bit. The damage that you'll take from it if you block it or whatever isn't too great. It's a great means to actually capitalize on him thinking that you're just going to sit there and block and cower in fear. He has another one that's kind of the same way, where he will go under the ground and swim underneath there real quick, but he's just going to slam his tail at you linearly, if you will. Again, the camera will probably pan for this one as well. It's not a huge issue of an attack. If anything, it's a benefit to you, because if you want to make it to where he gets knocked over pretty easily if you hit his tail. Now, if he has the I was gonna say the mud ball, but if he has the magma ball at the tip of his tail, attack it. Just go for it. It doesn't do the most damage, not the greatest hitbox, but it's one of those things where it's like the payoff is worth it, because the hitbox isn't too bad, and if you break it, it's an automatic knockdown, and then you can like smack him up real nice, like. Okay, so just remember these particular things. Try to attack the tail if you can more often than not. If you break it, it will go for a knockdown and it's free damage. He will like, I keep wanting to say mud. This is tough. He will put the magma back on his tail, and it would be another magma ball. Then you have to like fight for it again. But it's okay. Just keep doing it. You'll get a tail break. Yes, you'll get a tail break and then a tail cut. That's how his particular tail works. So just go for it. Like, a lot of his attacks look like it's gonna do a lot of damage. Some of them do, don't get it twisted, but a lot of it's just intimidation. He does have a particular attack where, for most monsters, you know how monsters that will charge you, like a Wraith and a Rathalos, they'll charge you one direction, turn around, charge you another direction, and so on. He has one that's kind of like that, but he uses his tail as like a shield. If you're a Lance main, think of it like the shield charge. Like, instead of the, you know, we have the lancing charge with your lance out. This is one with the shield out and you're running or whatever. He has that. He'll run at you with the tail as if he's blocking. He'll hit you one way, turn around, and do it again another way. And then I think at the third end, he'll slam his tail at you. That's not a super damaging attack, but it's one of the attacks that I want to note to you guys because he's a monster who normally wouldn't have a particular ability like that, but it is something that he does have, and he'll chase you down with it. There's another monster after this guy who has a very similar ability. And it can get you caught off guard if you think it's only going to happen once, maybe even twice, because it does happen 3 times. So outside of those particular attacks, the ones I noted thus far, he has one other where the camera will pan out and then he'll have like these magma rocks that'll just come up from the ground. These themselves will explode after a set amount of time, but what he's doing with them actually is he's hiding behind them. So it's actually okay for you to just go in and fight him when he does this. You'll know when he's going to do this one because the pillars will come up. If anything, if you're not like married to your R2 button like I was and you can move around, just maneuver around it. Like, he usually puts one in front of him and you can just go around it and attack him. He's literally doing nothing. He's hiding behind it. He's just kind of sitting there chilling. So what I'm trying to get at here with the majority of these attacks that look like it's going to be some drastic stuff is he is literally just bluffing. Okay, he's sandbagging. He's not really doing a whole lot. And even the attacks that he does have that's actually pretty damaging are pretty wild. It looks a lot more than what it's actually going to be. So remember that he only has 2 attacks that are very, very slappy. If you have a counter, then once you see him do it a time or two, you know when to do the counter. You know exactly when it's going to happen, and it's going to be not an issue at all. Trust me, when I was first fighting him, it was a bit of an issue at first. I wasn't sure what the timing was, if I was doing it right or if I was doing it correctly or whatever, but it actually worked out to the point to where, yeah, dude, this is kind of freaking free, you know what I mean? The first attempt at him is going to be some stuff because he does have a lot to offer, and he will put you in a situation where you think, dude, I have to block this, or I have to roll from this, I have to do this or whatever, but it's not that drastic, okay? Now, I just want to really put that into you guys, let you guys know that it's not as bad as it is, because at first I was like, damn, dude, fighting this guy is like rough, man. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, hopefully I'm actually excelling. Like, what am I gonna teach the people? You know what I mean? How am I going to like quell their fears, because there's a lot of things that he has that look to be quite fearful. Just note, he's more glitz than he is glamour. He does have attacks you have to watch out for. Like I said before, the tail is his biggest claim to fame. I keep wanting to say mud. If I say mud, guys, I'm just gonna roll with it next time. Break the mud ball. Break the mud ball, and then you get a free knockdown. Now, he has a couple of attacks that he will do where he'll slam the tail around. The tail is really all you have to look out for. Keep your eye on the tail. That's usually it. Like, keep your eye on the tail. He has another attack I forgot to mention where he'll slam his tail on the ground, and there's like 3 like lines of fire or magma that come out from that. At first they don't do anything, but at the end they burst up. You can't get hit by that. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you get hit by that, you were asking for it. So just don't stand on the thing. You know, it looks like something that'll damage you. Just don't stand on it. You know what I mean? You've seen it a couple times in the video already. Just don't stand on it. You're gonna be okay. So outside of that, let's talk about the gear that Magma Almudron has. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't know, dude. You can make a case if you squint hard enough, but I'm gonna try my best to actually show you guys the potential that some of this gear can have. Okay, so let's look at the gear. I'm gonna try to make heads or tails, whatever of this, but the thing I'm looking at right here is its skills. So the skills are Resentment, Heroics, Fire Attack, Resuscitate, and Guard Up. Now, Resentment we haven't talked a whole lot about because, well, I haven't done this in a while, but nevertheless, Resentment, what it is like they have red health. Like, if you get hit by an attack, you lose your green health, but you have a little red health at the back. If you check your life bar, you can see it. Whenever that red health is available, you get an attack increase, but this one gives us level 3 to that, which gives us, what, 15, I presume, and max out at rank 5 is like 25%, but that's a good skill. That's what's up. I mean, we get hit all the time. Small hits, glancing blows, bigger hits. Having an attack increase off of something that's very, I mean, it's situational, but this is a situation that's usually relatively okay to be in. A little bit of damage, and we're in it all the time, so it's okay. I like the skill. It's a great one. Heroics 5. Now, Heroics 5 is amazing. Heroics is one of those skills where it's like, if you're on the edge, if you're one of those thrill seekers, this is your ability. When you're low on health, 30% health if I'm not mistaken, when you're on 30% health, you actually get an attack increase and a defense increase. Now, in this particular version of the game, they chopped the hell out of it. This skill is all kind of weird, but you want to get max rank into heroics. No other rank truly and earnestly will help you do anything. Every rank is like 5% attack increase, 20%, 20 more defense, something like that. But at rank 5 you get 30% attack increase. Rank 4 is still only like 5%, or no, rank 4 is 10% attack increase, whereas rank 5 is 30. Okay, like you have to go rank 5. But once you go rank 5, you get a plus 100 defense and negates all defense down type of thing. So it's actually kind of cool. So 2 good skills. Heck yeah, that's what's up. Fire attack 3 increases your fire attack element, whatever. Okay, that's cool, I guess. It's whatever, you know what that is. Now, Resuscitate. This is a skill that's actually also really good, but it's one of those super situational ones, and it's one of the ones that's kind of hard to say, yes, I'm gonna rock this, because what Resuscitate is, if you have an abnormal status effect on you, like a blight or something like that, you get an attack increase. Now that's cool and everything. I think you get like a 20 or 25% attack increase with the max level that is right there. But the problem with this is you also have Resuscitate and, well, excuse me, Resentment. Resuscitate is actually 2 really good abilities, but the problem is them together, they can be great, but now you're playing, wait, Resuscitate, Resentment, and Heroics, now we're playing with fire, not fire attack. The problem that we're gonna have here is that if you have Resentment, so you actually have taken damage. You have to have taken damage to make the skill activate. And then let's say you have Resuscitate, so now let's say you're blighted with something or whatever. Then you have Heroics. You can get all 3 of these things to proc, but you're going to be in an incredibly awkward state of affairs. You know what I mean? You're already at low health. You're gonna have a blight upon you, so if you get hit with, let's say you have a thunder blight, if you get hit, you're probably gonna get stunned. Or let's say you're poisoned, or you hit with flame blight, you're already losing even more health. You're kind of tricky to play with all those things all together. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to do. There is a particular skill called bubbly dance or whatever. If you can get that on you, that it is an abnormal status effect, but it has no adverse true effects. Well, it does technically, but like realistically, it's the most intrusive of, well, yeah, the most non-intrusive of all these status effects. So it's actually okay to actually have. So you could theoretically get a really powerful attacking set out of this, but I mean, why would you do that? This is kind of a tough sell for me. I mean, if you're a gunner, because this is technically not like a gunner set of armor, but Almudron has a lot of gunner gear. It doesn't have too many like Blade Master stuff, but it has a lot of, I think it has all the guns. You could technically, in theory, make something out of this because you're away from the action more often than not. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It's Blade Master weapons are just very high on the element, which is pretty solid, I guess. But the attack or the raw isn't too great. The sharpness is okay. It's just another one of those very high element things. Look at Aurora Somnicant, same thing. Element is through the stratosphere, but everything else is kind of meh. The armor, again, if you look good enough, you can make something out of it, but you got to look really hard for it. I mean, it has a lot of great skills, and combined it can be pretty solid, but this is definitely asking for someone who is a more seasoned hunter to actually make the best out of this. But yeah, the gear is okay, I guess. Alright, so to recap, we're looking at Almudron, Magma Almudron. He is a very flashy monster. There's a lot of cool things going for him. Very cool fight. A fight that can actually get you feeling like you're going to be completely incompetent and maybe even triple card. I know of a couple of people that actually get triple carded to this guy. Don't worry, it's all glitz, not a whole lot of glamour. You don't have to block everything. You're not sitting there praying, oh my god, when is he going to stop doing a thing? He actually has a lot of attacks, a lot of it's actually just him floating around, making a big old song and dance. It's not really a whole lot of slap. So just remember the tail. Watch for the tail, watch for the tail. Watch for the tail, watch for the tail. Damage the tail, break the mud ball. When you do that, free knockdown, do a hell of a lot of damage. You also get a tail cut. Mind you, even when you cut the tail, the Magma ball can still be manufactured, if you will, and he can still have that. But it's a good means to actually get a solid knockdown. So if you're like, okay, I need to do as much damage this thing as possible, keep going for the tail. You'll break it and then go ahead and damage the face. He's a fire monster, so you're going to want to bring some water to go and slap him up. I think ice also works a little bit as well, so you can continue to bring that Luna Garen that I kept talking about. Luna Garen is the smack. I'm telling you, that stuff is good. It is good gear right there. Bring that if need be. If not, you know, some water or even some raw. I'm running raw right now. It'll work out. He doesn't have a whole lot of health, truth be told, so you're going to be it's not going to take forever to actually fight the guy. Even when I'm being incredibly defensive here, it was on like a 17-minute fight. Nevertheless, he is a very fun monster to have. He has a lot of flash things about him. He can intimidate you with all the things that he can do, but trust me, it's not that crazy. Just be very mindful of his tail, and you'll be in relatively good hands. With that being said, everyone, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Thank you all so much for watching today. This was I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this was a pretty tough video to do because here I am, I'm looking at this monster. He has a lot of things going on about him. But if you really look at the fight, if you fight him once and then go back and fight him again, the second fight is never as hard or as terrifying as the first one. When I was first fighting him, I had a tough time actually doing anything, so I felt like, when is it going to be my turn, you know what I mean? Which is a huge problem when it comes to fighting certain monsters. They themselves have so much going for them that it's like really tough to figure out when it's your turn to attack or when it's your turn to do anything. But he himself isn't like that crazy with it. So once you figure out like you can counter, you can block a lot of these attacks that seem to be this massive thing, and it's truly not, you're gonna have no trouble at all. Like my first fight with him was like 17-18 minutes, but every fight after that was like 10 minutes, 11 minutes. You know, I was just like blowing this guy up, you know what I mean? The only thing that was really an issue was I was losing sharpness so fast because I was hammering this guy. So I'm gonna say right now, your first fight might be a lot, but I guarantee you he's one of those monsters that once you look past all the stuff that looks crazy, he's nothing. Dang, I usually wrap this up by now, but yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry, like usually my little tangent isn't that long. I actually add that for the rest of the video, but I like to add personal experiences and these other little tidbits at the end of the video just for like the people who like to watch the entire video. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I did say we were gonna do Gormagala on Saturday. I forgot Espinasa's next, and Espinasa unfortunately will have to come out Saturday. I couldn't do two videos to come out on Friday because my time got all like mixed up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy. Take it easy. I'll see you all next time. May the desire since and forever be in your favor.